Wind turbines to generate energy. They're very renewable, but they're also extremely controversial. Have you ever heard about underwater turbines placed under the ocean?
I actually have. They're becoming very popular in the river systems in Scotland.
Excuse me? I haven't heard anything about that. I've heard of coal. That's been around for 20 years or so. I don't know, but I mean, that's good.
Well, coal, yes, has been functioning for years, but it's very unhealthy for the environment.
We need to build renewably and sustainably if we want to continue our existence on this planet. Turbines consist of a shrouded turbine placed underwater but directly in the way of a current. The turbine is connected to a gearbox which is connected to an electricity power generator so they can generate electricity. Because the density of water is much greater than the density of air, the turbine does not need to spin nearly as fast as a wind turbine would have to spin to generate the same amount of electricity. And underwater turbines pose no negative effects to the environment.
I think coal sounds a lot easier than that, stupid.
Are you kidding me? Do your research.
Fine.
As you can see here, solar panels considered to be the best in renewable energy do not output that much electricity at all.
So you can also see nuclear power, which is usually considered to be a viable alternative to coal power, does not output nearly as much electricity as coal power does.
Coal power, which is one of the most widely used methods of electricity generation, is also one of the most harmful sources to human damage on the planet.
So I did my research, but how could there be a power plant underwater?
It's quite simple, really. All the electrical elements are covered and do not come in contact with the water. All those turbines are tethered together and run to a power grid on land, which charges a huge battery.
And this is better than wind turbines. How?
As you should know, water is much denser than air, and the ocean currents are much more reliable than wind. And also, they don't obstruct anyone's view.
Tell it to the scuba divers.
Even though this technology is not in widespread use, an innovative idea would be to place a funnel on the end.
As you can see here in this formula, velocity equals flow rate divided by area. This means that if you have a funnel placed over the end of the turbine, you have a given area of water that then would move through a compressed area, which would therefore increase the velocity of the water, because velocity and area, as you can see, are inversely proportional. This increased velocity of water is essentially moving faster than the current, which would then pass through the turbine at a much greater rate, increasing your electrical power output.
Obviously, we put a cage over the intake end of the machine, not to damage the wildlife.
I was wrong. Underwater turbines are really good. I mean, there's no visible obstruction, they're safe from a renewable energy source, and there's no threat to the environment. Just coal does stuff. I'm sorry.
It's a pleasure working with you.
Pleasure teaching you.
Thank you. Underwater turbines rock!
Troubles and doubts, giving everything inside and out.